I know, I have in the past gone on record and said that autumn is not my favorite season, that I am not the biggest fan of autumn. And while that is still true, it also is a statement that deserves more nuance than one mostly have when trying to hook in viewers. I said that with a very November state of mind. And right now, I am with an October state of mind. So while it is true that I am not a fan of the drab grey that some months in autumn might have, I am a fan of the beautiful lighting, the beautiful changing of colors that happens in October. Like, how could I not love this color palette, while it is my three favorite colors: orange, green and yellow. So now, orange, green and yellow were also the subject of a couple of natural dyeing videos I did at the end of last summer. I feel like now is the ideal time to turn this loose fluff into yarn. Now, as I am in an October state of mind, I am thinking only one thing: sock yarn. 3-ply. And we have 3 colors. What I am thinking right now is actually separating out all the greens, the yellows and the oranges and make a corresponding singles with each of these colors and then ply them together into a 3-ply, possibly sock yarn. Now, for the prep of my fiber, you might see that I have gone a little bit ahead and started combing. Why did I want to comb them? Well, I was recently given this beautiful diz, which reminds me of a peeled open chestnut, and I think, well, if I'm going to do an autumn project, it must be featuring this diz, right? It's just so pretty. So, as I just said, I already made a little bit of combed nest, some combed top. I'm just going to continue. I've started with green, and let's work until the green is done. I am going to make one controversial choice and say that while I attempted this to be green, I'm going to put it with the orange, because otherwise the orange will be only this and that will be very monotonous, I think. Anyway, green! Let's go green. Now, this is Hampshire down fluff, and down breeds are reputed to be resistant to felting. So I think this might, or hopefully, makes it a very good choice, a very good candidate for sock yarn. I have combed both the yellow and the green. It's both approximately 30 grams, so that's good. They're approximately even. I am, however, a little bit fed up with combing as we speak. I'm going to start spinning. I want to start spinning the green, not the yellow, the green, because I don't know the colors they are calling me. I want to see them spun up. Now, if I want to spin sock yarn, I'm going to go for one particular wheel, and that is my trusty Bernadette, my very first wheel, because she is the thin spinning queen. She knows how to get a lot of twist in there very fast. However, currently she's outfitted with this cardboard bobbin to spin even thinner yarn. That's a little bit overkill. We're going to use one of our regular wooden bobbins. And as she is a double drive wheel, let's put the whirl back on there. There we go. Our drive band is one singular cotton band in the form of an 8, and it both drives the bobbin and the whirl. I'm not going to do any kind of special sequencing or color management for my singles. I'm just going to grab a floof, start spinning it, grab another one when we're done, just a little bit at random. But don't they just look all so amazing? I love the color green. I might need to retie my drive band because I'm always at the hardest tension and it's still not really pulling in, so I think my drive band might have stretched out over time. Now we're spinning and I still have some room to finagle with tension if I need to. This wheel and I have had a little bit of a complex relationship, if I must be so honest. This is my very first wheel, the very first wheel that I bought, and I got her at the time for 25 euros somewhere secondhand. Now you must understand, I got this wheel before I actually knew anything substantial about spinning. This was my test drive wheel, so to speak. Like, it was only 25 euros. If I didn't like it, that was okay. However, with it being my first wheel, of course, it had a very special place in my heart. I learned how to spin on this wheel. My very first yarns are spun on this wheel. However, as the herd grew, I found that she was a little bit of a fussy and difficult wheel. You can hear her talk right now. She is very chatty. She has a mind of her own. And me, being the rookie that I was, the very novice beginner spinner, I wasn't actually listening to her. She was not fussy nor difficult at all. She just needed a little bit of TLC. But in my rookie novice state of mind, state of being, I did not notice. After learning a little bit more about her and actually giving her the much needed TLC, like the cleaning up of decades probably of grime of previous users, giving her some beeswax pad treatment, but most importantly changing out the drive band, that made my and her life a lot easier. And since then she's really has become my thin spinning queen and has claimed her position at the top of my favorites of wheels. I mean, a mother plays no favorites, but she is a thin spinning queen and she has the receipts. This is leftover on the bobbin of a thin spinning masterclass that I did last summer, and I don't even know if the camera is going to pick this up, but that is so thin, and that was all just the settings and the practicality, the bobbins of my own wheel. Like, now that I got to know her, now that I knew what she needed, now she is in fact my thin spinning queen, my little Bernadette, the lace and sock yarn wheel. So yeah, it took a little while for me to understand the extent of yarns that she is capable of, and now she has my whole heart. I don't regularly spin on her, not as much as I spin on this baby over here. That's my Jillian, my wet S71, because she is versatility herself. So yeah, I mostly gravitate towards her. But if I want to be specific, like today, like I want to spin some sock yarn, this one. And I'm very pleased with how the yarn is looking. Like, all my greens are really green now that they're spun up. I know this is this optical thing, like now there is no more light passing through, so they are a lot more intense. Yeah, they're such good greens. Oh yeah, I love it. Now I have this bad habit actually of pretending that you all have seen my previous videos and that I don't have to reiterate or explain stuff. And actually, that's not true. My analytics say that there is 30% of very regular viewers, 30% of casual viewers who just happen to watch now and then, but also about 30% of new viewers on my videos. So, hello new viewers. Drop a comment down below if you're in this category. I'll tell you how I got to these greens, because it might not look like it, because there is a lot of green in nature, but green is actually a very elusive color to get with natural dyes, and I mostly, if not only, dye my wool and yarns with natural dyes. Sorry if I just bonked you. So, let me explain real quick what these are. These two are two different iterations of me trying to achieve green with a copper mordant. I think this is just a mordant, no extra dye stuff, and I think this is the mordant with some yellow from onion peels. So it's really faint, almost a bluish tint, but I think they make a nice combination with all the other greens that I have here. This more yellowish green is made with wild carrot tops and then with an iron modifier, because wild carrot tops in themselves will make yellow, but with an iron modifier, which essentially adds gray to it, which saddens the color, we get this yellowish green. This rather dark olive green is the same treatment with an iron afterbath, an iron modifier, but the basic dye stuff was goldenrod. These two are made with yarrow and again that iron modifier. And then this is my absolute favorite green of all the greens that I have in my little basket over here. This is green made with tansy and then that iron modifier. Like tansy, such a good dye stuff. I want to experiment more with it next year. But altogether, they're all really good greens. Like, there is nothing that I would say right now, this is not green. So I'm really happy with my little harvest of greens that I got at the end of last summer. So I told you in the beginning of the video that I'm not doing anything special or particular in terms of color management. What I am doing, however, which maybe is a little bit particular or peculiar in form of color management, is when I'm almost out of one of the nests, I will spin two of them together for a little while, just to add a little bit more visual interest to the end result. Now, what you didn't see me do with this sock yarn, but where I often get questions on whenever I mention my handspun sock yarn, is something to reinforce the wool. No. This is 100% just the wool itself. I know that a lot of commercial sock yarns have nylon in them, and I have once tried adding acrylic to my sock yarn, but I don't think that sock yarn was more sturdy or held up better than my 100% woolen sock yarns, because actually my 100% woolen sock yarns have been holding up so nicely. I have had no issues with my socks falling apart. I think it might be a little bit overblown, like the idea that 100% wool socks will immediately fall apart, or maybe it is because I have a quite good sock yarn recipe. My sock yarn recipe is first get yourself a medium grade wool. Like, I know the 18 micron merino and the Polworth is really soft, but that's not what you want for socks. No. You want a medium grade wool. Like, a lot of my socks are Flemish sheep, Dutch spotted sheep, and tassel. This one, as I said, Hampshire down, also medium grade wool. Like the socks that I'm currently wearing are Flemish sheep, and that's a sheep breed where the micron count can get up to 30, which is what some people say already a coarse or itchy wool, but I think that is just a marketing ploy from the merino lobby, but that aside. Secondly, I did not only comb my fiber because I have a new pretty diz. No, actually, a worsted prep helps your socks being more sturdy because all the fibers are aligned. Secondly, a worsted spin will help your yarn to be more sturdy, because once the fibers are aligned and you all spin them nicely, there aren't just scraggly waggly bits everywhere. The yarn is smooth and more dense and more durable. And lastly, you want 3 plies at minimum, and preferably a true 3 ply. Chain ply, okay, but like where the chains meet, that can become kind of a little bit of a weak point. So that is but not just mine. I think this is kind of a tried and true recipe. I want a nice sturdy wool, I want it worsted, and I want it 3 ply. And I'm going to do some weird gymnastics over here. This sock is older than my channel. This sock is 4 years old. How does that look to you? Pretty good, doesn't it? Like, it's a little bit felted. Of course it's a little bit felted. I wear my socks all of the time. They get rubbed on the inside of my shoes. But they still look great. They will go probably at least another 4 years before I have to mend them. And then, lastly, what I want to say about this is mending your socks also isn't the end of the world. Or at least that's what I think. Socks are worth it to be mended. At least these ones, these hand-spun woolen ones. These are 100% worth it to be mended. But also, I haven't had the need to mend my socks in 4 years now, so I don't know. Maybe it is all a little bit overblown that you need nylon in your socks. Don't judge. My husband is gaming upstairs and it's just sad and cold and dark in the studio. So I'm bringing my spinning up here where, yes, the lighting is way worse. But I'm not going to care today. I'm not caring today. I know the lighting is worse up here, so maybe you don't see this. But I think I was wrong in identifying the green floofs earlier. I think this is the green that Carrot Tops and Iron gave. Like, it's yellow for you, but that was the thing. It didn't really give a very green. So I think that misidentified green was actually tansy green second dye bath. So it's here in the yellows, so is this, which is maybe even more green, but that was, I think, also some tansy green or maybe some goldenrod green that I accidentally dropped into the iron. It wasn't supposed to be green and it's, well, not really green, so just to have a little bit more variety in my yellows, because it's not as varied as the greens. All in all, I'm going to put this one here in here as well. Favorite is this one. That's the goldenrod. You can see that's gold. And I was talking about the yellows because, why, yes, the green is finished. A big plus about spinning inside, I can get hella cozy. I feel like I'm spinning the tiniest bit thinner than the green one. Huzzah! We have 2 bobbins filled, one with the green singles and one with the yellow singles, which means two things have to happen now. One of those things being that I need to finish combing the orange for the third single because, as I've said in the beginning, I want to make sock yarn, which is at least a 3-ply in my opinion. Which also means I have to empty these bobbins because these are the only original bobbins that came with my wheel. My wheel only has 2 of its own bobbins. I say its own bobbins because I also have this handcrafted bobbin by Jan Zandbelt, which is made to spin like the thinnest of thin yarn, like I'm talking cobweb, but that's not going to take this much of sock yarn singles. So I'm going to empty my 2 bobbins, wind my yarn into a ball, spin the third single, probably also wind that in a ball, and then we'll probably ply it on another wheel because these bobbins are quite full already and I don't think I can ply my yarn on one of these tiny ones. Like, it's a really great wheel to spin really fine, but not for big quantities. It's really tiny bobbins, tiny cute little bobbins. And that's our 2 little jawbreakers of yarn done. You know, in Dutch we would say toverbal, which is very reminiscent of that German sock yarn Zauberball. Yeah, we already have 30 little orange nests, but we are going to make more, of course. Both the yellow and the green came around 30 grams. I want it to be kind of equal, that's just useful, so we're going to comb some nests until we have approximately 30 grams. If you see all the little debris on my skirt, that's just from spinning, and it's only going to get worse when I start combing. I don't know if you remember as clearly as I do, but this was a dirty fleece. Like, I have thrown away approximately 75% of the fleece because I can manage quite a bit of VM in my fleeces, but this one was just a little bit over the top. So I'm happy that in the end I will have a pair of socks worth of this fleece, because when looking at it when I opened the bag, I wouldn't have thought that to be possible. I don't know if I have enough footage of me fawning over lock structure in this channel, so once again, look at this crimp. Yeah, that's so pretty. It's almost a pity to put this on a comb. Let's just appreciate his wool for just a couple seconds longer. Ignore the socks. Yes, it's October. That's approximately 30 grams of the orange and tan floofs. Very good. Let's get started on these nests. Now, honestly, I don't really remember what I dyed this tan orangey color with. I'm thinking anato and madder, but honestly, it doesn't matter much. Badumts. So now while I was spinning these 3 singles on my little Troika Irene, my little Bernadette, I kept thinking, I bought this wheel off of someone who is fairly close to me, and we had like a lovely chat about wheels, about our hobbies. We coincidentally also went to the same art school, but never really met each other, and I wonder, does she sometimes think about me and wonder what happened to her little wheel. Like, would I still be spinning? And I also wonder how she would react knowing that her little wheel that she sold to me for a mere 25 euros is now a little bit of a superstar on the internet. Yeah, I really wonder how she will react to that knowledge. Like, those 25 euros were the best investment of my life, and I don't know if she knows how she contributed to that. Anyway, I'm just going to keep rolling my little ball so that we can go get to plying in a couple of minutes. The orange ball is perceptibly smaller than yellow and green. However, this could be because I spun thinner, or because I wound tighter, or because these have just been relaxing and grew a bit. I don't know. All this to say, I'm not going to go and spin more of the orange. We're just going to ply this as is, and we'll see in the end. If I have leftover, then this can just be like a 2-ply or something. I don't know. We shall see. So I lied a little bit. I wasn't going to get to plying in a couple of minutes because first my husband and myself went to a little second-hand book market. And I've got a little haul. Do you want to see? Do you want to see? Are you interested? Of course you are. First off, I have Tyrion's Kostuumgids, or Tyrion's Costume Guide, which is an illustrated edition of historical costume from the early Middle Ages until now. Now for this book is 1988, although it seems to stop in 78. It's just really pretty pictures. I have a little booklet on band weaving and a little booklet on weaving on a small loom, and I hope these might kickstart my motivation to do some weaving again. And then I also get a book about tie-dye and batik or batik, or I don't know. I've always been told you say it batik, but that's the colonizer's way of saying it. I like that it has the diagrams of how to fold stuff for tie-dye. I want to try some tie-dyeing with natural dyes. I think that would be really interesting. So that were the craft books. I also got some books to read. This is Marcel by Erwin Mortier. Erwin Mortier is one of my absolute favorite Flemish authors. He just has the most poetic way of writing. And this is his debut novel. And then I have Het Boek Daniel from Chris de Stoop, who writes about the murder of his own uncle. And I have read superb reviews of this book, and it was on my TBR for already quite a while, so snatched it. I also bought Simone de Beauvoir, The Mandarins, De Mandarijnen in Dutch. I'm intrigued. And lastly, I have got Vlaanderen anders bekeken by Aster Berghoff with pictures from Anton Pieck, and it is the last bit that interested me the most because I really love Anton Pieck's style. If you don't know who Anton Pieck is, then, well, have you heard of the Efteling? That was hand-drawn and designed by him. Like, look at his style. It's so beautiful, so soft, so whimsical, fantastical. Oh, I wish I could paint like that. This is a picture from the city I was born in, apparently. Yeah, I think this is, I will live through this many a time. And now we shall get to plying. But for that, as said, I shall switch spinning wheels. And we're going with our trusty Gillian that knows how to spin everything, Louet S71, because of the large bobbins. I don't know if you can already see, but this is what we're going for. A nice 3-colored stripe. Yeah. Since the singles are just spun one color nests to the other, I think this is going to be essentially a self-striping sock yarn. But since none of those nests were perfectly weighed out, I also think these stripes will be soft and just flow into one another because the nests of the different colors are going to end at different points. I mean, that's at least what I'm hoping for. Right now, it seems like the green is wanting to take center stage. That's the most vibrant of the three colors, and I can't almost tell what the two others are. Like, they are so much of a background color to the green right now. I think what is currently on the bobbin illustrates what I was trying to say. It's stripy, but it's always another color that takes center position. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting when we knit with this. See? I told you, this was never going to go on one of these tiny bobbins. Nah, never. Let's get this on the niddy noddy and see how much meters of sock yarn we managed to produce. Here is our sock yarn skein. It is approximately 265 meters of yarn. My scales, however, say that this is 80 grams of yarn, once more, and that would make it sport weight according to Tiny Fiber Studio's grist calculator. However, I now have this thing. Like, I have been spinning for years and I didn't have a wraps per inch tool, so when I take just one of my threads over here, my 3-ply, I think that fits into the lace weight category. Like, if I move it over to fingering, I'm having quite a bit of room on both sides. And sport weight, as the grist calculator mentions, yeah, this is about half a sport weight. Yeah, my vintage scales are really pretty and probably okay to bake a cake, but maybe I should upgrade one day. Maybe, maybe not. Now, it is a skein with a lot of energy in it. I did go for a high twist yarn because I want something sturdy for socks. I am, however, going to soak my skein right now and maybe some of the energy will release. And here is our skein of sock yarn, all wet finished and almost dry. Just a little bit damp in some spots, but I've got to enjoy the daylight while I can. I am very pleased with this. Like, the camera does not pick up its true color. It is washed out. When I look in the viewfinder, there is not enough of the green in there. But I have noticed that cameras have difficulty with green. It's a very difficult color apparently, but this is just perfectly soft striping as I had envisioned it Every stripe has a different color taking center stage, and the yarn just looks so consistent. Oh yeah, that's some good spinning. Oh, my little Bernadette. These are going to be such vibrant socks, like I know. I opened this video saying that I wanted to make some sock yarn inspired by fall colors, but I would almost categorize this more as spring colors or even summer colors, because especially the yellow, it is just so bright. So bright. Whenever you have the tansy or the goldenrod, it pops. It shines at you like a flare. But nevertheless, this is sock yarn consisting out of my 3 favorite colors, so naturally it is my favorite sock yarn now. And many of you were correct. I am having withdrawal symptoms from Roll Force October, so that's why, of course, my first project is sock yarn, so I can continue making more socks. I am very excited to turn this into socks. Like, I know I don't have to make socks out of sock yarn, but I am still aching for that sock action. So in the near future, you will see this transformed into a pair of socks. I think they will be very plain socks for this very busy yarn. Maybe what we should do right now is pick a pattern. I'm going to get my book, 52 Weeks of Socks, Part 2, and we're going to pick a pattern that will fit this. The ones on the cover would be a great candidate. It already has the right color. This one would be cool with like the hexies. But I don't know, let's continue. Wouldn't that be so cute with like a ruffle? Okay, no, they're already called goldenrod. No way that I'm not making goldenrod with my yarn that has goldenrod in it. Like, yeah, we have decided the name only. It must be this. What do you think? Are you in agreement that we must make the goldenrod socks with the goldenrod yarn? Yeah. Let me know down below what you think. So that was it for this little spinning adventure. It feels like it has been a while since I did a spinning adventure on this channel, and I'm very glad that I did once more. I hope you've enjoyed. And anyway, if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe. But of course, that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video. But before we do that, maybe you could take a look at some more spinning shenanigans. Bye!